podcast. I'm Texas DJ, and I'm going to be your host. This is a podcast about strip club places, strip club people, strip club lessons. And this podcast today is about a strip club story. Now, I want you to understand, this is near the beginning of my strip club career. All right, I already worked at Pleasures. I worked at the Boom Boom Room. That was a whorehouse. And I got a job at a place called Exoticas. It's in Far, Texas. Or at least it was. I already got bought out by the Rhino or the Hippo or some shit like that. I don't remember. Anyway, I was working as a bar back and helping out my buddy. It was a good job. It wasn't that bad. I knew everybody behind the bar because, I was an alcoholic. There's no other better way to say that. I was an alcoholic. So, I knew Stacy, I knew Lisa, I knew Lee, I knew everybody. Anyway, so I was working there and, it was a great time. And then one day, Stacy's like, I'm having a party this particular day. You're all invited. She's like, I'm going to leave work early that day. And then y'all can just come over whenever you're done with work. We all like, all right, fuck it. Sounds like a great idea to me. We all get to work. We're all rushing and... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The whole premise behind the story is that there was this young girl who worked with us, whose name I can't remember. We're just going to call her Erica for the sake of the story. Anyway, so she was in high school still, but she was 18, so she was working as a waitress at the strip club. And Stacy's like, I don't want any underage people at my party. Sole fact being is that if the cops show up and they start checking IDs, you've got a minor at the party, which could lead to some problems. So, she didn't want her there. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, whatever. But this girl was hitting on me at the time. And I'm like, hey, you know what? That works for me. She's cute and all, but I wasn't planning on doing anything. Because the term high schooler really had a negative effect as far as I was concerned. I didn't want to do anything with her, okay? She was in high school. I had been with some 18-year-old strippers, I ain't gonna lie. But none of them were still in high school. And while that might not seem like a big difference to you, it was a huge difference to me. So, this girl's underage. She wasn't invited to the party. And no, start off beginning of the story. No, I never slept with this girl. I never did anything with her. Didn't plan on doing anything with her. The term high schooler really just turned me off. Anyway, this was the girl that within a week of this party, people are going to assume that I killed her. We'll get to that. Anyway, we all rush. We help each other out. We get done with our work as quickly as possible. And then we leave as a convoy from Far, Texas to Edinburgh, Texas. Now, many of you are not from the valley, so you won't understand this. There are sections of road where the only light is a street lamp that's like one every half mile, maybe a mile. So if you got your lights off, people can't really see you. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because while we were driving, I was the ass end of this convoy. I could swear I saw a car driving behind us with its lights off. Now, I didn't think it was Erica because she left like 30 minutes before we did. She's like, oh, I gotta go home, and she left. Later to find out she was actually waiting for all of us to leave. She was actually parked down on the side of the road down the street waiting for all of us to leave so she could follow us. And we didn't know she got there till we all parked our cars, and then this bitch sprung out like she was spring-loaded hiding in the bushes. She put her arm through mine and was like, let's have a great time. And I'm like, shit. Everybody sees her, and everybody's like, you brought this bitch with you? I'm like, no, I didn't bring her with me. I go, she followed us. I swore I saw some lights in the distance that were just dark. I'm like, nobody believed me that somebody would be driving in the middle of the night with their lights off. Well, she did. Anyway, Stacy's unhappy with me, telling me I got to keep an eye on her. And for the most part, I did. All right. But we started drinking. This girl was power drinking. Okay. She drank, I'd say, a fourth of a bottle of Jaeger. And we don't allow minors to drink at the club I worked at. So by the time she was done with that bottle, she was a little fucked up. So they're like, you got to deal with her. She's your problem. This because you brought her. I was like, even though I didn't bring her, all right? Now, I did the adult thing. I grabbed a bottle of water. I took her upstairs. I put her down in bed. I turned on the lamp. I put the bottle there so she could see it. And Stacy had a dry erase board, so I put "Do Not Disturb" right in front of the door. Anyway, so I go down. I join the party. I start drinking. But an hour later, I hear that they're running a train on this chick upstairs, and I think to myself, "Oh my God, I gotta go up there and beat some ass." So I go up there. She's wide awake. Wide awake. She sees me, and this is how I know she's wide awake. She sees me and tells me to drop my pants and come on in. She's jerking a guy off, which she was sucking his dick, but she was jerking this guy off while she's looking at me saying, "Take your pants off, come on in." This other guy is fucking her from behind. I'm like, nah, this is not my deal. It's not my fucking deal. I close the door. I go back downstairs. I keep drinking. I'm having a good time with my buddies. The sun comes up. We go get breakfast. And, yeah, so the following day, I had off. Okay? I know that particular. I had off because I got to sleep most of the day. Got up, went out to another bar with my buddies. Told them about how great the party was. Met a magician who was doing card tricks. Yeah, this guy, amateur magician, was doing card tricks for us. And when you do card tricks for a bunch of drunk people, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, so we go out. We had breakfast. I went home, slept it off. And then after one day of rest, I go back to work. I show up. The fucking DJ is like, "Oh, here we go with the conductor in the house." Yeah, they called me that because apparently word got around about the train and everybody thought that I started it. I didn't do anything. I didn't fuck this chick. I didn't do anything. But everybody was congratulating me. A couple of guys I work with were like, "Yeah, man, it was a great time, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I don't want to hear about some fucking high schooler gangbang. This is not me, okay? I go, this is fucked up. But apparently I found out she was already a big whore because she had already slept with the same guys that had sex with her at the party, had already had sex with her beforehand. I'm like, damn, you kidding me? Like, nope. She slept with the bathroom guy. She slept with both floor guys, one of our managers, the DJ too. The DJ that was working at the time, Hector. Yeah, and apparently I was like, she'd fucked them before the party, and then she fucked them again at the party. Apparently I was the only one that didn't, but I'm pretty sure I was the only one that didn't need a penicillin shot. I'm sorry, a penicillin shot. I'm trying not to laugh. Anyway, a week goes by, she hasn't come into work. At this point, we find out that her mom has called the police because she has not come home. She's already called the club to see if her daughter was there working. This bitch never came home. Now, this was during the time when Nokia cell phones, the ones that were like a block, were the only phones that were out there. There were no fucking Blackberries. There were no iPhones. You know. And at the time, paying $300 to $400 for a phone was as much as paying $1,000 to $1,100 now for an iPhone. That's how much, in terms of cash, it costs. So a lot of people didn't have one. I didn't have one. A lot of my friends didn't have one because it was just too damn expensive. Plus, they were charging you like $80 a month to have a fucking plan. So she didn't have a cell phone that she could reach out to her daughter and find out where she's at. No, this bitch just disappeared. Well, the cops start asking questions to everybody, and then they find out about the party. Then they find out about the train. And the cops start asking me questions. And, yeah, that was a little bit put off. I had to explain to these officers that, no, I never slept with her. At the party, I didn't sleep with her. There was nothing. yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on. It wasn't me. I was like, I didn't control her. I didn't do anything. And then they found out, I found this out, was that one of the guys, who I worked with, by the way, and I can't remember if it was the bathroom guy or the floor guy, said that they went upstairs to use the bathroom because the downstairs bathroom was busy, and they went upstairs, and she was in bed with the lights on, fingering herself, told the guy I had just left, and if he wanted to party. So that's why they thought that I'm the one that did it. I didn't do it. Anyway, everybody started asking me why I killed that bitch. I was like, I didn't kill her. They're like, some people actually offered to be my alibi. Like, look, man, if you got a little out of control and you had to kill that bitch, man, just let me know, dog, because I'll back you up. I was like, I didn't kill anybody. People were talking to me like I kidnapped her, I killed her, and I left her out in the middle of nowhere. Why would everybody keep saying this shit about me? And the cops questioned me twice. And I'm not saying question me at the club like everybody else. They went to the club and talked to people. They had me go down to the police station twice so they could talk to me. I was worried I was going to get arrested for kidnapping, murder, or whatever the fuck else they thought they could fucking pin on me because some little white girl was a hoe at a party and then disappeared. I was starting to get nervous. I was starting to think maybe I have to tell my family what's going on. I might need to help getting a lawyer. Thank God that wasn't necessary, because 2 weeks, maybe give a few days after the party happened, she walked into the club to collect her last paycheck. Apparently Erica was there at the party. One of the guys she was sleeping with during this gangbang was talking to her after they were done. And he's like, oh, I would love to see you again, but I'm going to Los Angeles. And she's like, oh my God, I would totally love to go with you. So this guy had money. They left that following fucking day to go to LA. Yeah, she went over there and she was fucking him. How do I know she was fucking him? No, she didn't tell us that, but if you're already at a gangbang and some guy offers you to go to LA and you go with him to LA, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna fuck him. But again, the iPhones, Samsung Galaxies, they were not a thing at the time. Not many people had cell phones. I'm pretty sure that guy probably did, but nobody called her mom. It led to a whole big thing. People thinking I killed her. I buried her body in the middle of nowhere. Cops questioning me because they thought that I also killed her and buried her body somewhere. It was a very trying time because some of the strippers were starting to think that maybe I did kill this bitch because everybody's saying I killed her. So, that was a very lonely time for me afterwards. Even after that, people thought that I was still a killer. I was like, no, the bitch came back. She went to Los Angeles. That's why she was gone. She met some fucking guy. Yeah. Once you get that stigma of being a lady killer, literally, they really don't want to deal with you. That was the kind of bullshit I've dealt with in my strip club life. Yeah. It's a hell of a fucking story. Let me tell you, it was a hell of a fucking week. Okay? But, yeah. I still have good memories of that party. Except for the last hour when we were eating or so. Because I was drunk. But, yeah, that's the kind of life I've lived. Because some girl disappeared. Everybody thought I killed her. Turns out she was a whore and went to California and came back. What can you say? It's part of life when you work at a strip club. Alright, that's it for this episode. Please share, like, subscribe if you can be bothered to. If not, to hell with it. Alright, I'll see y'all next time. But until then, please, don't kill anybody.